all thinking and feeling the same way.
Well, how can all the individual souls think and feel the same way? I mean,
By becoming Catholics.
or or becoming lemmings, right? Jump off the cliff.
Yeah, they don't know. I mean, they think, oh, they've made a big decision. Look at all those lemmings jumping off the cliff. What stupid, foolish lemmings. We'll become Ritvik lemmings and we won't jump off the cliff.
This is the problem that I've noticed. I was talking to a devotee here in Sacramento. I was like, Prabhupada has laid out everything in very clear writing. And according to them, everything is okay. I'm okay, you're okay, what ISKCON is doing, it's okay. So this knowledge or this understanding is not a wide known understanding that what we're discussing here. It's basically what they're being fed by the so-called GBC and appointed fake gurus, and
Right.
it's very bad. I mean, I can see where I was 2-3 years ago and where I am now. It's totally different.
Yeah, you're brilliant. You're the chief guy. I'm simply here to squawk a bit.
No, but that's okay. But I've learned so much in the past 2-3 years since COVID. So COVID was actually a blessing, at least for me, I can say. So it has given.
It also happens to be the last 2 or 3 years that we've been doing the Zoom call.
Yes.
For 10K.
Yeah, so that has shifted the whole consciousness of a lot of people towards the right direction.
So Bobby Hebert was busy plumping himself up like,
what's
in his comfortable clothes and saying, "Oh yes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that." And I said, "And will you have Prabhupada as the Acharya of ISKCON for the next 10,000 years?"
So what did he say?
He was offended. He said, "Oh, we're not going there."
I mean, offended meaning, did he agree that Prabhupada will be the Acharya, or he's saying that no,
he's agreeing that anybody who's initiated should become Prabhupada's disciple by Ritvik initiation.
Okay, so what's
but that doesn't make Prabhupada the Acharya. It just makes him the
some sort of guru or some
centerpiece, like an ornament on your table.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada disciples, even the direct disciples who don't have a proper understanding of Srila Prabhupada, it's really a misfortune for them, because if they think Prabhupada is some ordinary guru and he does the Ritvik initiation, then after that I become guru. This is not Prabhupada's teaching.
ISKCON basically collapsed after 1970.
Yeah, we know that.
Which was quite a while ago.
Yes. So that understanding has continued since 1970 till 2022.
And in a sense, it's getting worse because the people now who want to be good, there's people that want to be. I'm trying to educate people to call themselves officiating acharyas. Because Prabhupada had 5,000 disciples when he entered Mahasamadhi. How many of those 5,000 fire sacrifices, and how many of those sets of beads did he personally chant on?
Probably less than 500, maybe even less than that.
Yeah, something in that range,
Yeah. So what's the difficulty to understand this simple understanding that Prabhupada was not actually physically present? He empowered his temple presidents and devotees who are senior men.
In the May 28th tape and in the July 9th introduction to the July 9th letter, he said that I will appoint officiating acharyas. And Tamal jumped forward. Oh, you mean Ritvik?
Oh, yes. We discussed this in the other video. Yes.
Yeah, we've done this a lot.
Yeah. So
the thing is, why Ritvik? Well, I keep saying it came out of Narayan Maharaj's book on Prabhupada, which was totally unbonafide. He said, Prabhupada, my Shiksha Guru, Priyabandhu Shiksha Guru. you don't have to be an Einstein to realize you cannot be or if you have read the one verse in the Gita that discusses it, which we hope Narayan Maharaj may have read, and that is that Priyabandhu Shiksha Guru, you cannot be best friends with your guru. Right?
Yes, not that.
So he introduced that idea. He and Tamal had been conspiring to poison Prabhupada for maybe close to 5 years then, this, because Tamal was convinced he was trying to make claims that Prabhupada was senile. So when that came up with Narayan Maharaj saying horrific, it's because Narayan Maharaj, because Tamal did not want officiating acharyas to be mentioned, because then they would say, well, what's the difference between that and the temple president performing the initiation for Prabhupada? It's been going on. There's thousands and thousands of devotees that are your god brothers that are hanging out with you right now that were initiated by officiating acharyas.
Yeah.
But Ritvik, that makes it, Tamal's the next acharya, and he's come up with Ritvik, But then, you and I had a discussion on Ritvik, and I went back, people kept on sending me stuff about Ritvik. So I went back and checked it out. It's not in Prabhupada's translations. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, Ritvik or Ritvik Jaha and stuff like that. There's many, Ritvik is hardly said, but there's many varieties of declination of word for Ritvik. So I went back and looked at it. All the quotes that were given to me to prove that Prabhupada used the word Ritvik, he didn't. He didn't use it in the translation or the purport.
It's like it's a misnomer that Tamal Krishna has made to corrupt Prabhupada.
But the word Ritvik appears a lot in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Sanskrit.
Yeah, you mean the Roman translation and word for word meanings, yes. And then
no, it's not even so much a word for word meaning. It's when you read the Sanskrit words, Ritvik, Jaha, who are those guys? The Ritviks. They are super scholars, way beyond reformed drug addicts like Tamal.
So how can these reformed drug addicts become a guru?
Exactly.
They have been reformed so much that they have become, right next to Srila Prabhupada, or right there sitting with Srila Prabhupada.
Well, the way they look at it. Well, go ahead. Yes.
No, I'm saying this is what has happened. I've seen altars of people like Jay Pataka, Radhanath, right next to Srila Prabhupada. So I'm like, well, what do these people think they're doing? I mean, was, these personalities, before they came in contact with Srila Prabhupada, what were they actually doing? How now they're sitting right next to Srila Prabhupada's picture, like the Radhanath people, they have, Radhanath's photo right next to Srila Prabhupada. The Jay Pataka guys have Jay Pataka's photo. The Bir Krishna guys have Bir Krishna right next to Srila Prabhupada. Tamal Krishna has the Tamal Krishna. The Bhakti Charu has...
You and I should not complain about them doing that. Do you know why?
Insufficient guidance?
Yeah, well, let them do it. And let's get, what you call it, fancy seats in the court of Yamaraj for when they and their disciples show up and see what happens to them. We're not saying, well, they got rich, they got money, because we're all human beings. We want money, we want houses, we like friends, we like followers. We all love that stuff. But what about the price that we have to pay? What about the price that other people have to pay? Because we were talking with Robert about, when you take things that are more than your quota.
Oh yeah, you become immediately punishable.
Punishable. But what if you take disciples who give you more than your quota?
Oh yeah, that's also punishable, because what you're going to do with that, unless you're a pure devotee, you'll think about how to use it for your own personal sense gratification.
It doesn't even matter if you use it or not. You can be as austere as you want. You could be living a starvation diet. But if you're not giving your disciples pure Krishna consciousness, then it doesn't matter. You can be speaking for free as a guru, and it will not do you any good because they will get the false understanding. You will not reveal Krishna as the transparent via medium to Krishna Loka.
It's 10 o'clock.
Jai. So
Could be. Ramachandra is on board. It must be 8 o'clock.
so
Ramachandra, please be very careful in the future, okay?
sure, yes, I will. Okay, Prabhu. Robert, thank you, Prabhu, for joining. I hope
Did you ever? You never bothered reading? Did you? I shouldn't say it like that. Did you ever read the questions that I wrote for Abhimanyu?
Yes, I did read them, and
Do you see a problem with any of them? The questions?
no, I don't see any problems. But I wanted some clarification. But I'll call you about that tomorrow or later on
Sure,
tonight.
do that.
Yeah. Okay then. Robert, Prabhu, any last words, concluding words? Can you describe your session? Was it helpful for you?
Yeah,
Or-
it was very helpful. Got a lot of questions answered that I had.
Okay, so you're also welcome to call Narayan Prabhu personally, and that's the way I develop relationship with devotees.
Rupa, you can also call Ramachandra personally.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Rupa Manjari and I we were just him, her, and me, and we were sort of surrounding
Mhm.
him. I've been totally exhausted for the past week because I was getting ready for my renewal of my lease,
Mhm.
and last night I was so exhausted I collapsed on the floor and I couldn't get up for 20 minutes.
Yes, okay. Well,
And so I'm not complaining, but what I'm suggesting is that
Rupa Manjari Prabhu helped a
that
lot.
I was really, really tired, and I was very depending on Rupa Manjari tonight to carry most of the weight.
All right. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Rupa, for carrying the weight. So we'll end it here at the good note, Prabhus. Thank you very much. Next meeting will be on Sunday. So if you'd like to join, please join the WhatsApp group. The link is in the description, and you'll get all notifications whenever we go on live. Hare
And so
Krishna.
there'll be a mini
Hare
bubble for people to download tonight, right?
Yes.